Hello, everyone. Welcome to Free Handly Made AU, My Autistic Life. You're here visiting us in Big Sky, Montana. Right, today is a very special live. It's not the norm. And so we're going to do things a little differently tonight. I have one of my co-hosts, Gemma, in the house.
Hi, everybody.
She is from Gemma's Journey Grace. And hopefully our friend Claire from Woodshed Theory will be joining us here in just a few minutes. So let's see who's all in the chat. And we'll start saying our hellos. I'm going to go over here. Okay, so we have Trish from Crazy Engine Treasures. Hello. Miss C is here. Miss C, when we get ready to give away your beautiful amigurumi somebodies, I was going to send you a link, but I can't. I'm using my phone, Miss C, so I can't text it to you, sweetheart. So what I'll do is when we get ready to do your giveaway, I'm going to put the link to the chat to the panel in the chat, and that way you can come up on panel if you would like. If you don't want to come up on panel, that's okay too. I just want to at least invite you up here since you're going to be giving. Gemma, wait till you see these. And guess what, Gemma? One of these is for the UK. You could win, honey, because you're in the UK.
Awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're zebras. They're gorgeous. I'm going to show them here in just a second. They're so pretty. I oohed and awed over them. Hello, Miss C. Then we have Paula Mulford is here, and Trish is here. And we have Crafty Annie is here. And I saw the tornado comment, Annie, just a second ago. Gemma and I were talking, and it flashed to the side, and I saw it. It caught my attention. I hope everything is okay. Was it this morning? It was this morning, right? If I think I read that right. Hi, Sharon Loves Purple. She's here. That one this morning was destructive. Not used to them in Westford. That was in West Virginia, but it was bad. Hope this one misses a. Oh, you had one this morning, and now you've got another one. Am I reading that right? Oh my goodness. Well, you be careful. Your safety comes first, okay? If you got it, you got to,
It looks like you've got a second one. That's awful. I hope you stay safe.
If you need to go hunker down, and you go hunker down, you can catch this on the replay, honey. We want you in one piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Dawn Yarndoll is here. Hello, Miss Dawn. Yes. Protective prayers over Crafty Annie and everyone who lives around her. If she poofs, it means she lost power. Girl, I hope it passes before you have to take hubby to work too. Look, your safety comes first. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then we have Leslie here. Oh, it's a cat raid. Well, welcome in, Raiders. Good to see you all in here. Catherine Raven is here. Hello, Catherine Raven. Catherine Raven, hello. It's good to meet you. Good to see you in here. Our sweet Samantha Stewart's in here. Hello, Samantha. Maritza's Yarn and Crafts is here. Hello.
Hi, Adele.
Marie Simpson is here. And Jamie Marie Crafts is here. I heard a doorbell, you guys. Guess who it is? It's our beautiful Claire. We're going to bring her up. Give me that thumbs up, Claire, if you're ready. She's ready. Okay, here she is. And here's our beautiful Claire. This is Claire, you guys, from Woodshed Theory.
Hi, everybody.
We are just going through the room and doing a roll call real quick to see who's all in here. I think we got a full house, girl. Misha Lee is a good friend of mine. She's here. Hello, Misha Lee. And then let's see, Marie Simpson is here. Hello. Albany Plane Spotter Aviation is here. Hello. So glad you could be in here today. It's your 15th birthday today. And it's Autism Day, World Day. Yes, it is. Well, happy birthday to you. Lisbeth Christensen is here. Hello, welcome in. And our sweet Queen's Crafts by Bridget is here. Hello. You can't stay, but you wanted to offer a medium knot bag with the puzzle piece fabric, if it's allowed. If not, you want to give one away? You're still at the hospital with the king. That's her fiance. Okay, I'll tell you what, Bridget. I can go ahead and do that. You want it to be USA only, I'm gonna assume, and then I'll have the winner email me, and then I'll send you their info. Just let me know if that works. And then we have, I believe this is Michael, MDL Crochet. Hello, and Sweet Tank. My mod mother is here from I Love to Crochet. Demetra, the Naked Snail, is here. Hello. Shirley Bain is here. Hello, welcome in. I love how you guys are saying hi to each other in the chat. It just warms my heart every single time. Miss Adele is here. She's saying hello to Gemma and Claire.
Hi.
Oh, Howie's here, you guys, from Food Forest Permaculture. Hey, Howie. Greetings, Earthlings. Well, greetings to you, my friend. It's good to see you in here.
Hi, Howie.
Yes, Tank will be typing in all caps, you guys, because she's still having issues with her eyesight. So, and she's also under tornado watch. So no worries if she's typing in all caps. She's not screaming at us, okay? It's just so she can see. Poor Tank. All right, so to my moderators. Hello, IVB and Jessica SMC. I have the comment section set to 5 minutes for anyone who comes over that's new. They have to wait 5 minutes. Usually I have it at 15 minutes, you guys, but I lowered it to 5 minutes. So just keep an extra eye out for, the unfriendlies, I like to call them, and get out your hammer and go to town. Also, to my moderators, we are going to have more than usual of those of us on the spectrum, and sometimes our communication is different than what you would expect. So before you think they're a troll and you go to whacking, put in all caps that we need to look at something, and we'll take a quick look at it if it's something that you're not sure about. But you usually know when it's one of those, if you know what I mean. Like, it's usually pretty obvious. So just heads up for that. Okay, you guys, if I missed anyone, I'm just going to do a blanket hello, because if I said hello to every single comment, we would literally be here for 3 hours.
Well, hello to all of the people who came over from Mike from Autistic AF sent his live stream over.
I saw the Raiders. I'm like, where did that come from? Well, thank you so much for sending them over here. That is so sweet of you to do that. All right, so we are going to talk about what our experiences are with our autism. All three of us, like we always say, you meet one person with autism, you've only met one person with autism. But the one thing that all three of us do have in common is we were all diagnosed a little later in life. I think I'm the oldest. So I was diagnosed at 43, and we're just going to kind of share our stories with you guys in the chat. Hello, Michelle D. And once we do that, I have something very beautiful that Dawn Aaron made. It is a scarf, an autism awareness and acceptance scarf. That's why it's in the color red. It's got some gold in there. It does have the puzzle piece on it. I just want to put that out there for those of you that do not like the puzzle piece. Totally understand. There's different perspectives, but I just wanted to point that out. So if you don't want it because of that, no offense taken.
Then you don't gotta enter.
And you don't have to enter. Yep. But this is a USA Canada gift. If someone outside of the USA wins, then I will be more than happy to send you a PayPal gift card. Amazon, if I can figure it out. I've never sent to Amazon that was overseas before, so I don't even know how that works.
I'm sure
But,
Jeff makes it very easy.
So, but we'll get something figured out because this thing is heavy. It is not light, you guys. And it is 100% acrylic, so you don't have to worry about any animal fibers. So, which is good. It smells good too. I have a thing for smell. It smells like Dawn's house. Kind of fruity. Actually, no, you know what it smells like? I know what it smells like because it's been sitting over there on my other desk where it's safe. And that's where I keep all my Huckleberry soap that I do giveaways for. So that's what it smells like. It smells like Huckleberry. That is so funny. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to let Gemma go first. I'll go last. And we're just going to kind of share with you guys how old we were when we got our diagnosis, what was that like, how we felt after our diagnosis, and then we'll share some of our struggles, some insights of some of the things that we learned on our journey. And and then we'll go from there. And then we'll take a little break, and I need to show you guys some amigurumi crochet zebras that Mrs. C's cottage made, you guys. They're zebras. And listen to this, you guys. I kid you not. This woman is so sweet. She is donating one zebra to somebody in Australia.
Wow.
I kid you not. She is donating the second zebra to it's Europe only. Which I'm assuming that would be, that would include UK, right? The third zebra is to Canada only. The fourth zebra is to the USA only. This woman has been busy. So while Gemma is sharing her story, I'm going to get those pictures pulled up because you guys have to see these stuffed zebras. They are the cutest things in the world. Miss C calls them some buddies, and she has made them specifically for tonight.
Oh,
so
cool.
Oh, cool.
And usually they come with a little story, I believe. Anyway, so Miss C is in the house, and so you guys please show Miss C's cottage some love and tell her thank you. Go ahead, Gemma. Go ahead and
really quick,
share
Gemma.
with
Really quick, Gemma. I think I saw someone ask, I think, I can't remember who it was, maybe Spicy Autistic, if they don't want the scarf in the US, but they would take the gift card. I think somebody made the scarf with a lot of love and wanted to give it away. So maybe if you're in the US and you don't want the scarf, maybe don't enter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This scarf,
yeah. This scarf was made specifically for this event and donated for this event. And it is beautiful. Like,
It's stunning, yeah.
it is.
I know it's kind of
stunning.
weird then if okay, well then somebody else from a different country gets a gift card. I get it. But maybe if you don't want the scarf, that's okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to the gift card is just to offer our friends that are overseas, because that scarf is really heavy. It would cost a lot of money for me to send it. And so, but I didn't want our friends that's in another country to go without. So
yeah, I understand you're bummed, Spicy. I understand.
Where's Spicy located at?
She's in the States.
Oh, okay. And then we have the gift bag. It's like a project bag. Man, I wish I had mine. I have one. Actually, I do. So when Gemma's telling her story, I can go get it. It's right over there on the table. She's willing to donate if someone doesn't mind the puzzle piece. She has made specifically these bags for those of us on the spectrum. and that you don't have to use it for yarn. You can use it for whatever you want, but it's a nice bag. So there's that. All right, go ahead, Gemma.
Welcome, Gemma.
You're on the floor. Welcome, Gemma. Yay.
Okay. Thank you to Nisi for having me, first of all, on her channel. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm from the UK. My channel is Gemma's Journey Grace. I was diagnosed at the age of 25, which I'm now nearly 36 years old. And it was a fight. I'm not going to lie. It was really, really hard to actually get any form of help whatsoever. I had to go down the mental health route, unfortunately, for my diagnosis, because I was starting to get really depressive, low mood. I was getting to a point where I was starting to self-harm, and my form of self-harm was pulling my hair out, and I was actually making myself bald. I was pulling out strands upon strands of my hair, and then I started doing things like picking my fingers till I bled, and I was making my nails so sore that I'd actually pick them till the nail bed, and then they'd get all sore and everything else. And then I went for a mental health referral, and the therapist who I saw the first one was really, really good with me, and then they referred me to another doctor who went through the typical, oh, you're not autistic rubbish, there's nothing wrong with you, you're low mood, we'll give you some medicine and basically send you on your way, which then put me off for quite some time. It took me about another 6 months to a year to go back for another referral to another doctor at my surgery, who then at first took me serious, was like, okay, we'll try and support you, and what traits do you think you have? And when I actually started listing all the traits and the behaviours, she was like, no, there's nothing wrong, you're just depressed, it's normal, you're going through a bit of a low mood, everyone gets like that, you'll be absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong, end of discussion. So it took another year on top of that to then go back again with my aunt, who was at the time a mental health nurse, who had been in the NHS working, which is the National Health Service here in the UK. She'd been working in the NHS for about 30 odd years at this point. And she works with people with learning disabilities, autism, bipolar, etc. And she was like, no, there's something wrong with Gemma. This is what it is. This is what I know it is. And she printed off all this research. She highlighted my name and all this stuff. Then she got all books out from the library. She was photocopying pages upon pages upon pages, all this stuff. And she was like, no, we're going to go back to the doctors. We're going to try again. And we're not going to take no for an answer. At this point, my hair was starting to fall out. I was self-harming by scratching myself. I was getting to a point where I was refusing to eat, refusing to sleep. And my aunt's like, if we don't do something now, Gemma's mental health's going to get a lot worse, and we don't know what to do. She'll end up getting sectioned. And my doctor then decided to refer me for talking therapy. Yeah, that didn't work. Didn't go well at all. Apart from the only, I guess, positive thing out of that was the therapist who I saw the third time was actually a therapist who recently had their son diagnosed. And he said to me, do you know what, Gemma? He goes, you remind me of my son, and my son's 9. I was like, well, how does that help me? At this point, I was in my middle 20s going, how can a 20-year-old be similar to a 9-year-old? Don't see how, don't see the point. And he was like, no, Gemma, don't be like that. He goes, I can see your behaviour. He goes, you're agitated, you're fidgety, your eye contact's absolutely appalling. Your body language is saying one thing, you're saying something else. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm not saying what you think I'm saying. And then he printed off this autism checklist, and he goes, right, we're going to go through this sheet together. And I'm like, what sheet? And it was literally about 2 pages of A4 back to back with all these tick boxes. And he's like, right, Gemma, we're going to sit here and we're going to do it. And I was like, what? And this took about 2 hours in 8 hours, but ended up being a 2.5 hour appointment. And then he goes, I'm going to put you through as an emergency, because if we don't put you through as an emergency, you're going to end up waiting at least 3 to 4 years. He goes, you can't do that. He goes, your health's going to suffer. So he put me through as an emergency. I was seen in 6 months. Then I had to wait another 5 months on top of that for the access to mental health referral to go through. and then I was diagnosed finally in 2014 at the beginning of January. So I was from 2011 until 2014, so about 3 and a bit years in total it took to get diagnosed, and it was
that's
awful.
a long time. Why is it so, and you're not the first one that I've heard this, that it's taken that long for a diagnosis in your country. Why do you think it's taking so long for people to get diagnosed in the
Because
UK?
one, there wasn't a autism service here in my part of the UK anyway until 2012, which was funded by the local government after loads of complaints were put in saying that people like myself were struggling. I then had to go to my member of parliament, who was very aware of autism at the time, and basically said that he would write me a statement. That statement turned into 12 pages. And basically he said that if I didn't get assessed for autism, that he wouldn't give up until I did. So he ended up writing me another statement on top of that. And then I was told, he basically put in the statement that I was mentally unstable, when I was at risk of hurting myself, and he didn't want to see me deteriorate, and basically pushed me forward another emergency. And then finally, beginning of 2013, I had my second appointment with a psychiatrist, psychologist, social worker, and the occupational therapist. And they then took me into the mental health assessment. And within the first 3 hours, they basically got everything they needed with my personality, what my mum had written down. And then my aunt did the next bit of assessment with me. And within the year of being assessed to diagnosis, it was literally phone calls and emails and Zoom calls, because it was obviously during the pandemic towards that time. And then I got diagnosed in 2014, and basically was told, congratulations, you're an Aspie. And yeah, I basically got given a 30-page report with my name on the front of it, being told, this is exactly why you act like you are. And basically I was left to get on with it. There was no aftercare, no counselling offer. I literally had to research everything myself. It was literally like, you've got what you've needed, now go deal.
Have at it. Wow. Well, when you finally did get that diagnosis though, what was your first feelings about it? Were you relieved, like finally I have answers, or were you more puzzled? Or
no, I guess no, not at first. Like the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was awful. My poor mum and dad, I was so horrible to them. I said the most outrageous, vile, disgusting things, especially to my mum. I kind of told her that she ruined my life, that she should have helped me sooner, that she didn't do enough. And my mum was like, Gemma, this is really unfair. I tried my best to get you help. I went to the psychiatrist, I went to the doctors, I went to the hospital with you. We had you up, down all the time trying to get help. And because you were female and you were coping, as people would say, that I was so masking and functioning to an acceptable level that all the doctors were like, well, Gemma doesn't look like she's stressed, she's communicating, she's functional. And, and my mum was like, no, she's not. Like, she's masking heavily, clearly. Like, she doesn't like being social. She has to be forced to go out. She has to be forced to get dressed. She has to be forced to eat. She has to be forced to make a social appearance, because she'll make up excuses why not to go. And the doctors were like, well, that's just depression, that's low mood. My mum's like, no, this is all the time. Like me, her dad, her sister, her aunt, everyone has to push Gemma to do stuff. It's literally like, oh, Gemma, come do this. Gemma, do this. Because if I wasn't forced, I wouldn't do it. Whereas the last few years, I've taught myself to get more social. But when I got diagnosed, I was very up in arms about it, because I felt like I'd finally started getting some form of closure and answers. But at the same time, because I was told, oh, Gemma, there's something wrong with you, and just kind of you're in a bit of a depression. And then people wondered why I exploded, because I didn't know any better. I was very not sure of myself at the time. I had no idea who my identity was. I was very upset. I kind of didn't know how to react to it. And my dad took over at that point. My dad basically told my gran and the higher up people, my family, as I want to call it, that I was assessed for it and diagnosed. And I remember going to having a family meeting, and everyone's like, "Oh, so Gemma, do you want to tell us what's happened?" And I'm like, what? And I literally was summoned into his family meeting. Everyone's like, "Oh, I guess this is a time to celebrate." And I'm like, really? The day of my diagnosis, you want to throw a party when I've just come out of a clinic after 4 hours? No.
Right. So Autistic AF, is that Michael? Is that Mike? Michael?
Sorry, there's the unmute button. I'm sorry. I'm struggling
It's
with
okay.
StreamYard.
I can't remember his name. Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whew. He said it's critically under-resourced. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat or not, because I think I saw someone tell him goodbye.
Yeah, he just left because it's late there.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry. It says it's critically under-resourced. Decision makers rely on the industry, which is itself in disarray. He's got that right. How many GPs? GPs, you guys, for those of you who don't know, is general practitioner. Would say you don't look autistic upon presentation and deny a referral. Absolutely. Yes.
Yep,
we faced that with my son. My husband and I, mostly me, we fought tooth and nail for our son, and I would not let it go until we found someone. And our issue with our son is we knew something was different when he was an infant, as soon as he was born, you guys. And there are studies out there that prove that you can tell when they're an infant if they've got autistic traits. But nobody wants to diagnose a baby, right? And so we couldn't find anyone who would assess him because he was 4 years old. Mm-hmm. He was delayed in speech. He was very delayed in walking. He had some OCD tendencies. The list is super long, you guys. And so finally, I found a clinician who got licensed from Florida State University. They have a autism research center there in Tallahassee. And that's where he got his credentials. And finally, he was like, I don't normally do it, but I'll see your son. So, and I'm going to stop there because my story kind of happened along with my son, and it's not my turn yet. So, I'm going to just scroll through the chat because I saw a lot of good information on here. Howie says, much love and mad respect, girls. Peace and love, earthlings. Have to go to his family is here. Bye, Howie. You're probably gone already, but thank you for coming in. There was one, let's see. Okay, so S. Pitt says that his therapist decided that they had generalized anxiety disorder, and the meds wrecked me. Turns out anxiety meds were a bad idea. So there's that issue too, where you get misdiagnosed. Mm-hmm. And then this one I found interesting. It's from Helen. She says, NHS is referring people via private companies at the moment. It's the only reason why her girls were seen in 2 years rather than 3 or 4 years, you guys. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. ADHD waiting list is 4 years at the moment, Southeast UK. Wow. And I thought the United States was bad. Wow. I don't know what I would have done if I had to wait 3 to 4 years to get our son assessed. That is crazy to me. So,
Helen, and to add on to that, the adult autism wait now is 3.5 years for an adult. And I volunteer for my local autism service, and they have just updated me in the last week that they are facing a 3.5 year waiting list. That's
Yeah.
That's as of last month. So
Yeah. Well,
it's bad.
and Mike was responding to Helen and said, and even private, there's still a considerable wait and a lot of delays as well. So that is really crazy. All right. So Claire, I know your story, but there's some people in here that do not. So let's share your story with us.
Oh, thank you. Gemma, were you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Well, also, I just wanted to let everyone know that Gemma has the most wonderful channel, and if you need any videos that have to do with like up-to-date world and UK news considering autism that are very well researched, I would go to Gemma's page and click the subscribe button because they're great videos. And she's been on YouTube for a long time, and she's always supported me since day one, and I love her. So
love you.
She's got a lot of really, really good videos, you guys. And her channel really is a wealth of information for sure, especially if you live in the UK. She is very, very politically involved in her country, and especially for not just autism, but disability department. And so she has a wealth of information on her channel, you guys.
And Nisi's great too. So if you haven't clicked the subscribe button and you like yarn and autism, what are you waiting for?
I love yarn.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Well, hi. I'm Claire, and I am the same age as Gemma. I think she's and I are 1 month apart from each other, baby. Yep. So I was late diagnosed. I was diagnosed at 31, and at the time it's interesting. Sometimes I talk about it, depending on like what office you were with my health insurance at the time, depended on if they would diagnose you. At the office that I was with at the time, they said that they only diagnosed in their autism clinic up to like 23 or something. So when I approached my psychiatrist at the time, she pointed me to ANEE.org. And they pointed me towards a private doctor. So I ended up getting a private diagnosis. And at the time I was thankfully able to go forward with that. But I'm very aware that not everyone is able to do that. And I'm grateful that at the time it was an option for me. So I didn't really have to wait. And I absolutely understand that there is privilege in that. I was able to go through it do it completely online and like meet with the doctor online and do it all online. How did I get there though? Whew. It started, I think, when I was getting into my 30s, and I finally got diagnosed and help for OCD, which I had been suffering with since I was a very young child. Every time I talk about it, I get emotional. Sorry. Fine, I'm fine. It's just a heavy thing to think about, being really sick for a long time. So I got started going to group therapy and getting help for my OCD. And I, at one point, was doing some research on autism on YouTube, trying to get some more information. And I stumbled upon a TED Talk by a woman who was talking about her late autism diagnosis and how it was missed in a lot of women. And as she was talking, I was like, I'll just say a small cuss. Oh shit. That's what I was like. Oh my gosh. This is it. Like I couldn't believe it. Yeah, she was describing my life, and I just felt like I got hit by a train. I felt like I was going through every emotion that was possible. Weeping. It was, laughing, weeping, all these things. So that's kind of what got me to pursue the autism diagnosis. I was very hesitant at first. Like, I kind of stopped myself from researching, and I was like, I'm going to, like, I did do some research, and I like went through and I read like the autism profile for women and everything like that. And I was like, okay, this sounds exactly like me. Especially the OCD as a comorbidity. That was like the big one for me. But I was also worried that I'd like do too much research and then convince myself of something that maybe wasn't true. And then I also wanted to get a diagnosis because, just like many of the people listening here, as a child, an undiagnosed child, you're often told that you're very, you're like a drama queen, and that you're over the top, and that you're blowing things out of proportion, and it's not real, and like things like that. Maybe, I don't know how to say it's not real, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Like just drama. It's like, yeah.
It's all in your head. You're imagining it.
Yeah, that maybe not even like to that extent, but that thing where it's like you can't trust your own self.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was so nervous. So when I got the diagnosis, he was kind of like, or the doctor was like, I think a lot of it is intermixed with your OCD, but yes, I'd say that, yes, I would say that you're on the autism spectrum. And then I was like a true autistic person was like, what next? Like, what are we doing? What, now that we have this information, what next? And he didn't have anything for me.
Yeah.
And
that seems to be a lot of the cases.
Yeah, a lot, and that's what I hear from a lot of people. It's like, what? There's no resources. What about what resources for adults? Like, what
for adults?
And he said, he's basically like, keep working on the OCD stuff, which was, I was like, okay, that's fine, but also like, and he asked me like, how do you feel knowing the information? And maybe this is a weird response, but my response was, because I had, and I'm not necessarily proud of this, but I had a lot of preconceptions about what autism meant. And like learning all this stuff was blowing my mind. So when he asked me like, how did I feel about getting that information? I was like, well, it's not like I'm stupid. And I don't know that I had a preconception that like autistic people were stupid or anything. But like I just didn't know how to respond, Like I just didn't know how to respond to like this information. Like I was very confused because I had never considered it before. Like it had never crossed my mind that it was me. And I guess since then I just wanted to provide I don't know how to, I wanted to start a YouTube channel and kind of talk about being an adult on the autism spectrum. And I think my channel is a little bit different because I don't always talk about autism. Like my goal of the channel is to be a good advocate, but also to show people what autistic adults are like, and that we're all different, and to provide some what's the word I'm looking for? Like a picture of, so people can see all different types of autistic people and make them put them more at the forefront. So that's what I try and do on my channel.
I think you do a very good job in doing that, actually.
Thanks. Am I sounding terrible or crazy or rude?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Absolutely no. Yeah, there's like so many. Your podcasts that you're doing right now, Autistic People Talk. genius. There's so many times I would be listening to that on my way home from work, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me, and that's me, and that's me, and that's me.
Hey, because you're both going to be on it, so get ready.
I really love, honestly, hands down, that is my favorite podcast series. I mean, you have so many good videos. Truly, you do. But those so far have become my favorite. Because not only are we getting it from your experience, but we're getting it from this other person's experience at the same time.
I'm really glad that you're saying that because, well, first I just want to say, I also like to share that, like, I haven't always been perfect about, like, saying, like, oh, I don't think I'm stupid, so I guess I'm not. Like, I haven't always said the right things. I haven't always treated people or thought the right things about people with autism, especially when I was younger. And I think it's important. It's hard for me to talk about those things because I'm not proud of them. But I think it's important to say them because I know that there can be change and that there are people out there who maybe need to be educated and have that change. So I wanted to say that. And I wanted to say that I'm glad that you like the podcast because for me, it's been extremely healing to talk to other people who are on the autism spectrum because we have so many, we're all so different, but we all have very similar stories. And we've all spent a lot of time inside of ourselves and alone. So being able to talk to each other, especially, so like I did, Gemma was on the Autism World Tour, and it was like a little bit more formal and like, tell me about this, about your country and this, but just having a candid conversation.
Why would I go back to lobby?
Oh, it's okay.
I just sorry, you guys.
Being able to have a candid conversation is very healing. And just to talk about things that we like or things we're comfortable with or uncomfortable with and what our lives look like, that I think is where what is needed. Because I mean, I've said this before on that on the podcast, is that I hear a lot of especially now, there's a lot of people who talk about people with autism, but we don't need more of that. We need more people with autism talking about what it's like to have autism.
Thank you.
So yeah, and that, I guess that's me. Anyone have any questions? I don't know.
This is the thing. Like, adding on to what you just said, you know, a lot of people tend to focus on what they think they know about autism, or they think they know better than people who are on the spectrum. That really irritates me. I've witnessed this so many times where I've had people who I've worked with or I've collaborated with here in the UK, and they say, oh, well, Gemma, you know, we know what's best for you and blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, please don't do that to me. Please don't say that to me. I don't think you do. Like, it's just so insulting. We need more autistic people to voice up, because if we don't voice up, we're going to end up being spoken over and ignored, and it needs to stop.
Especially now, because what I'm seeing now a lot of, because when I was diagnosed, even though it was only a few years ago, I feel like things, even from them then, have changed a lot because of the depiction of autism on social media. And there's a lot of like couch critics coming up saying like, oh, these people don't have autism. This isn't right. Like, this autism only looks this way. And just a lot of things like that, where it's like, how can we as a community step forward and say, hey, step back and educate these people in kindness and help, instead of creating this like division and derision, how do we bring us together so that we create a culture of understanding where we can help autistic people move forward? That's my goal.
Absolutely.
That's why when people on my like, I'm very careful. I try, like, when people, even in my comments, they'll start talking about us and like neurotypicals. I'm very weary about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it's an us and them issue,
Mhm.
right? Like we don't
No, it's
need to be like pitting each other against each other.
There
What
needs to
needs to
be a mutual acceptance on both sides.
Exactly. And I know that I know I'm going to get comments now. I get that. Okay, well then the neurotypicals need to take a step forward too. I agree,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
I do agree that right now the autistic community is having to do the heavy lifting, and it should
Mhm.
not be that way.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to adjust a question in the chat really quick, Claire.
right, there needs to be
Shirley,
balance. That's all I'm saying. There needs to
yes,
be
balance. Yes, 100%. There does need to be balance. Shirley Bain says, "How do you find someone though? My grandson spent 3 years with assistance from the Brighton Center. They left, and we have found nothing for him. He's turning 4 in 2 days." Shirley, in the United States, and I can't say it's in every state, but so far I've been in Florida and I've been in Montana, and I can tell you it's very difficult to find anyone to assess a child until they're 5 years old. Little man was very close to being 5 years old when we finally got someone who was willing to take a look at him and assess and see what was going on. So unfortunately, it may be another full year, but you can get started now. And how you do that is, and I'll once I know from Clara that she's done, that's going to lead into my story, and maybe I can help you in some way. But a lot of professionals don't want to label a child that young. They want to see if maybe some of what that child's going through is just some sort of learning disability, some sort of delay, something like that. And they don't want to diagnose a child under the age of 5. That's in the United States. I don't know about anywhere else, but a lot of states here, that seems to be the case in most states here in the United States. So anyway, so Claire, do you have anything else that you want to add?
Just I think Divergent Crafter was saying something about not having a formal diagnosis and feeling like imposter syndrome. Just know that it isn't possible because of many, many reasons for everyone who is autistic to be diagnosed. And that's why almost all of the community accepts self-diagnosis, and they should.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just know that imposter syndrome is a normal part. I mean, I think every single one of us have felt imposter syndrome. Sometimes you don't spend sometimes you don't spend time around people for a few days, and you're like, I'm pretty normal.
I was just thinking that yesterday.
Right? Normal's not the way to put it. Forgive me for my I shouldn't use the word normal. You think, oh, I'm not different from neurotypicals, and then you'll spend some time around neurotypicals, and then you'll see that it's a little different. I have a million things I could say, but I'll stop talking now. So
I was just thinking that was it last night or the day before? I was like, man, I feel like an imposter right now, because I'm one way on camera. I'm very comfortable because it's like I'm not physically in front of you guys right now. So like in my mind, this camera is like a filter for me. It's like a protective barrier for me. And so I feel like I can speak more freely. Whereas when I'm out in public, I'm like a wallflower. I'm very quiet.
I will just say really quick. Some people in the comments are saying Michi would like to donate a mystery box of yarn.
Thank you for offering that, but I'm not prepared for that, Michi. This always happens. I don't really. Yeah. I'm not prepared for that, Michi. I want to try and keep this more autism related and not not really yarn related. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. But thank you, Mishi, for offering that. That was very, very super, super sweet.
That makes sense to me.
And I don't want the live turning into a giveaway party, because that's not what it is. I mean, we're celebrating. Don't take me wrong. It's World Autism Awareness and Acceptance Day, and we are celebrating. But yes. Whoop, whoop. Let's go, advocates. So anyway, so I hope you don't take offense to that. I don't want to hurt your feelings. But okay, so my story is this. I was advertently diagnosed once we were trying to figure out what's going on with our son. Now, I saw several people in the chat that resonated with my story, in that we knew there was something going on when our son was first born, when he was an infant. Our son, when he was a baby, he could not handle sunlight. He could not handle fluorescent lighting in the nursery when he went to daycare. And the poor ladies couldn't figure out why our son he was just crying non-stop. And I'm like, try putting a blanket over the swing. And they put the blanket over the swing, and he hushed right up. He was fine. So things like that. When he was in preschool, he wouldn't color with any other color but blue. It didn't matter what shade of blue, as long as it was blue. And all the other they could never find where all the other crayons went. They don't know what he did with them, but he wouldn't color with them. And when he was going through the crayons, he had to feel each crayon and then look at it. And he just naturally picked all shades of blue. And then all the way up past kindergarten, when he would wake up in the morning, he would not get out of his bed until myself or my husband would physically go in the bedroom and tell him, okay, you can come out of bed. He would not get out of bed. You know, most parents have a problem keeping their kid in bed. We can't get our son to get out of the bed. So it was things like that. And so I went to the school district first, the public school district, because nobody could understand what he was saying. He was talking, but it was what they considered it broken speech, or jibber jabber was the slang term for it. And our son, he would bite kids in daycare because he was still crawling, and so he felt threatened because they're on their feet, right? And it scared him. He didn't know what to do with that. And he wasn't on his feet. He was still on his hands and knees at, 18 months. And so he would bite kids. And so finally, my husband had to work really, really hard to get our son up on his feet. So he was delayed in a lot of ways. So we knew something was going on. And so finally, after going through the school district and arguing with my health insurance, and that's a whole nother topic we're not going to get into, we finally found, I know how I found it. I was on Facebook, and it was an autism parents group page that was for Pensacola, Florida area. And somebody was talking about this clinician that was located in Pensacola. And they told me, you need to call this person, see if they're willing to assess your son. And at first he wasn't going to do it, but I had a meltdown over the phone. And he was kind of taken aback by that. I'm like, look, we need answers. I don't care if my insurance doesn't pay. I'll pay out of pocket. Like, I was that desperate. And he's like, well, actually, I take Blue Cross Blue Shield. And he's like, I didn't really want to take on anyone new, but bring your son in. And so we did. Well, while we were going through that process, the parents had to fill out this questionnaire. It was 100 questions with the little bubble thingies. Okay, so it took me 2 hours to finish this questionnaire. My husband was done in like 15 minutes. And he's like, what's taking you so long? I said, I don't know how to answer these questions. I said, and there's there's all these lines, and I felt paralyzed. Like I couldn't concentrate because there were too many questions, one after the other, and they all kind of sounded the same, and it was really messing with my head. And so finally my husband got a piece of paper. He's like, look, just do this one question at a time, cover the rest up. And that's what I did. That's what I had to do to get these questions. I'm an accountant, people. I'm a number cruncher, and I don't like answering questions, especially questionnaires like that. So finally I got through it. And he had been talking to the therapist, trying to explain to the therapist why it was taking me so long. And so we got everything turned in. Well, when we came back for his results for our son, he had sat my husband and I down, and he looked at us. He goes, I want to assess both of you for autism. Would you be willing for me to assess you? And my husband's like, no, right off the bat, he wasn't having it. He's like, I have issues. I know I have issues. I don't need answers. I'm fine. But I jumped at it. I'm like, yeah, I want to be assessed. And kind of explained to him some of the things I went through childhood. Let me tell you what, that was the worst experience. One of the things that was done, I had to answer more questions, you guys. I hated answering questions. And then two, and they were long. They were like long, like pages. And then the next thing he did, one of the sessions, he's like, I want you to sit on the couch and just relax and just find something to do. And I'm just going to sit over in this other corner quietly, and I just want to watch you. You want to watch me? My skin crawled. I'm like, why are you watching me? Like, it was horrible. That was very uncomfortable for me, because then I'm like, I felt like I was under a microscope, right? Like, am I sitting right?
I feel like I'd be messed so hard.
Yes. And then the other thing, he had a little Ziploc bag full of like little objects and like little toys, almost, kind of, sort of. He's like, okay, I want you to, he poured out the bag with all these little tiny like trinkets or whatever. He's like, I want you to make a story out of these. Make a story? I couldn't think of anything, Claire and Gemma. You know what I did? I'm like, okay, Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter. I can do a story out of the Mad Hatter. And literally, I set up the table and I lined everyone perfectly around the table. And he's like, that looks awfully familiar. I'm like, and I started telling the story of the Mad Hatter, without saying that it was the Mad Hatter. Well, of course, he realized what I was doing, right? And then one of the other things I had to do, it was a storybook with just pictures, no words at all. And he's like, I want you to go page by page and just start telling me a story. Well, I literally just described what I saw in the pictures. And I'm like, is that right? Did I do this right? He's like, there's no right or wrong. I'm like, what do you mean there's no right or wrong? There's always a right and wrong. Anyway, so after 3 months of that, and I had to do like blood tests, all that stuff. He's like, yeah, you're definitely on the spectrum. And so when I got that diagnosis, well, first I cried, not because I was upset. It was a relief. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so now my life is starting to make sense. And so I'm like, well, I'm 43. Like, I was diagnosed at 43. I'm 50 now. That was 7 years ago. I'm like, is there even anything for adults who get late diagnosed? He goes, not really. He goes, but I can provide you with some talk therapy, because he goes, if I had to guess, you probably had some trauma growing up. I'm like, some trauma? Oh, I can tell you some trauma. I had a lot more than some. And so one of the things that's really hard for me, my executive functioning, you guys, is horrible. It's awful. My husband can tell you. And so one of the very first things that I did through him, and I still can't find a therapist here, you guys, and I need one bad, was to work on, okay, like, some, I know some on the spectrum like lists. I'm not a list girl. I'm chaos because not only am I autistic, but I am severely ADHD. Severe. Like I have to take medication because I am so just all over the place. And then I have anxiety and I have depression. Well, I have depression because I was masking all my life and I went through identity crisis.
Mhm.
I didn't know who I was. I couldn't tell you what kind of food I liked. I couldn't tell you what my favorite clothes were because I always based what I did off somebody else. I was
Hearing
a
both
copycat.
of you talk, this is why I do the autistic people talking, because it's like brings tears to me. Because
So,
it's like it's very healing to know that I'm not, that you're not alone.
yeah, absolutely.
I,
And so,
this is the thing. I think a lot of people don't understand our struggle, like how we've had to mask for so long and cope in a world that isn't friendly for us. And it's so, you feel like you're trapped. Like I feel sometimes like I go out in public and I have to put this mask up because I'm like, I don't want to get people judging me, or they look at me and go, oh, how can Gemma be autistic? Look at her, she's so smartly dressed and she can talk. And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, except for to agree. I mean, we were able to get a lot of help for our son. Now, I mean, as far as where do you find resources, like I said, I started with the public school district first. In Florida State, it was called Child Find. But every state, they call it something different. Here in Montana, they have a what do they call it? It's for a preschool. And you come in, it's like a preschool fair and you bring your child in. And when you're there, you can tell them some concerns you may have, and then they'll refer you to the school district behavioral therapist and the school district. They'll do an assessment depending on what you have to say, and that can be at age 4. So that's where we started, Shirley. We started through the school district, yeah, we just started through the school district at the local school and said, hey, where can I get information on a child that might be speech delayed or this or whatever? And they sent us to Child Find, and that was in Florida. So that's where I started. Also, health insurance. I called our health insurance and I said, okay, one, do we have any kind of insurance for any kind of disability assessments, whether it be learning, ADHD, autism? And I just started asking those questions. And that's how I started coming up with resources. And then I joined a Facebook group, an autistic parent Facebook group. And then I tried to find one in the area. So that's how I did it. I hope that answered the question. But yes, so the identity crisis was really bad for me, and that's caused a deep depression because he would say, well, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm staring at this clinician with a blank stare, and I'm like, what do you mean, tell you about me? What do you mean? I couldn't even tell him about me, you guys. How crazy is that as a 43-year-old? And so I basically told him, like, well, I'm a mom, I'm married, and I'm an accountant. He's like, no, what are your likes? What are your dislikes? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It changes. It just depends on who I'm around. And so I had to work through all that. I had to unpack all that. And so it took over a year of therapy to start figuring out this stuff. Like, it was crazy. So let me tell you guys this too. So he had my husband and I come in together for a session with me, and my husband was sitting here and I was sitting on the other side of the couch. And he was asking us questions and we were answering, and he looked at us, he goes, are you guys sure you're married? And I said, and my husband's kind of, giggling. And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, well, you guys don't act like you're married. I'm like, what do you mean we don't act like we're married? Like, y'all, I'm like clueless. Like, what are you supposed to act like when you're married? Like, I was clueless, right? He's like, well, most married couples, they sit like right next to each other and they hold hands and never. And I looked at my husband, and my husband goes, she's not a very touchy person. She doesn't like to be touched a whole lot. And I said, well, we were best friends for like over 12 years before we got married. We're best friends. What do you mean? Like, Anyway.
I think
no one ever gave you the book about how married people act?
No one gave me a book. I have no manual, man. I just,
I think part of the assessment also is like I found with me is that like when they asked you about like your hobbies or interests, like for me, I could have gone on a whole tangent. I remember sitting there the first couple of assessments. They're like, "Oh, Gemma, tell us about like your hobbies and interests." I was like, "Okay, right." And I literally started listing off like all my Disney hobbies and all the movies I've watched and my favorite characters. I was like, boom, 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 boom. And they're like, right, Gemma, okay, we're going to give you a time limit. I remember sitting there going, what do you mean time limit? Don't be stupid. Like, what the hell? Like, you've said to me, tell me about your hobbies and stuff. And I was like, well, this and this and this and this. And then they're like, right, Gemma, 15 minutes. Clock, and they literally would like clock watch me, and they're like 15 minutes, and I'm like, I had to sit there and literally like look at the wall and this clock, and I could hear it ticking and ticking and ticking, and I'm like, it drove me nuts. I was sitting there going, take this clock down from the wall. I was like, I literally kept patting my head. I'm like, take this clock down. They're like, what's the matter? I'm like, it's driving me crazy. All I can hear is this tick, 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 tick on the wall. It drove me so crazy. I'm like, I couldn't even concentrate. It drove
that
me
loud
mental.
ticking clock noise. Oh my gosh, Gemma. Yes, I went through that too. And it was his watch. I heard it was his watch. It wasn't the clock. It was his watch that I could hear doing the ticking noise. And thank you all so much for gifting all those memberships. You guys are wow. Like I really think they need to. I think they need to make the assessments more friendly for autistic people because when you go in, well, for me, when you go into that room, I was in a tiny little crowded like box room. There was me, my dad, my mum, my aunt, psychiatrist, psychologist, social workers, and like one counsellor guy, and we're all this little crowded table, and I'm like, they're just staring at me. I'm sitting there like, and it was horrible. I hated it. Like, I just wish they could have made it more friendly. It was just so overwhelming. I didn't cope well at all. Yeah. I didn't deal with. There was parts of the assessment I didn't deal well with either, and my poor husband had to hear about it. It was bad. Huh? Oh, yeah, I don't like llamas. He had a stuffed llama in his office. It was a stuffed animal, but it was covered with real llama fur. In one of the sessions, because he was trying to help me deal with some of my sensory issues that I have with my sense of touch and sense of smell. And he said that he stood that llama right next to me, and he's like, just pet it. I'm like, I don't want to pet it. I don't like the way the fur feels. It bothers me.
You don't like llama?
I don't like llama fur.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know why. It feels prickly to me. I don't know. Anyway, and so my husband would pick on me about it. He's like, hey, they have some llama stuffed animals at the Walmart. I'm like, no, I don't need no llama. I don't need no llama stuffed animal.
From down the street.
Those are alpacas. They're not llamas.
Yeah, S. Pitt makes a good point here. It says about being spanked for not being friendly enough. Girls are pressured to make eye contact. Oh, don't I know about that? I learned how
to look right here, like in between the eyebrows, so people couldn't tell I wasn't looking them in the eye, except for teachers. Teachers caught on, and they're like, no, you need to look at me. I'm like, I am looking at you.
I'm
Yeah.
guaranteed that will comment every video that I upload. I've showed Claire before, like I'll get a comment in every video, someone critiquing me about my eye contact. I'm like, how many more times am I going to have to explain this? I'm autistic, I can't do it, and when I do force myself to do eye contact, I am so physically unwell afterwards. I feel sick, I feel headache. I don't want to put myself through that anymore. I'm not going to do it because I can't.
No.
I lose myself. Like, if I'm like doing the thing where I'm like looking straight down the barrel of the camera, I lose myself. Like, I'm just focused on like getting the words out, and I'm not really able to think about like what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't stare at the camera very well either. My eyes are kind of all over the place.
I notice that when I start actually thinking about something, even if I think I'm looking at the camera, then I just go like, and I just start talking at
Yeah,
the wall.
I tend to look up into the corner or look down and then try and look at the screen. So I making me look at the screen. I'm like,
But I've given
Yeah.
up like caring about it because I've had even friends, which is totally fine, like mention like, oh, hey, you're not looking at the camera. And I'm like, you know what? That's the point. So
Yep, exactly. I'm autistic.
and
I'm probably not going to make contact with the camera very often.
I'm not willing to pretend that I'm not anymore. So there you have it. You can watch.
Yes, Divergent. Yeah, girl, I was grounded my entire childhood. And here's the thing. I loved being in my room. That wasn't really a punishment. Because if I was granted to my room, I didn't have to deal with people or all these rules that I didn't understand.
Yeah, we're like autistic people will follow the rules, but only if we understand why they're in place and agree with it.
Yep. That's so my son. My son is like that too. He's like, but why? But why? But why? Helen says, sounds very overwhelming. We had both girls' assessments on the same days, was 2 days of 4 hours each day. Both girls, the questions were so in depth and stuff. I even remember now. Yeah, the questions for me was the worst part because, well, I'm like, why are they asking? And I asked the therapist, I'm like, why do they keep asking the same question? He's like, well, they're not the same. I'm like, yes, they are. He's like, no, they're worded different. I'm like, but it's the same question. I already answered it 4 questions ago.
The questions are, in my opinion, try and trip you up a little bit there to make you say things that you probably wouldn't say by thinking about them. I think also they are so medically focused that they're not accessible for autistic people or suspected autistic people, and that's what I found with my assessment. A load of questions I was constantly going, so why are you asking me that? Like, why do I have to reply to that? And they're like, well, Gemma, we need to know your reaction and we need to know this. And I'm like, but you're asking me the same question twice. Like, what?
Or like thinking like the whole time, like, am I doing okay? Like,
right.
Like,
is this the right answer?
Is this a test? And at the end, it's like, autistic or not, like pass or fail. Like,
yes. Like,
so
is this
I don't
the right
know.
answer? Is this the wrong answer? Or I don't know how to. A lot of the questions, I'm like, I don't know how to answer this. This is not like some of them are like on a scale between 1 to 10. I'm like, what the heck? What do you mean? I'm either this or I'm this. Well, that's one of the autistic traits is you don't know kind of where your feelings are or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's like all these other feelings within, like, it's not just happy. There's like all these other definitions of happy, of different levels of happy. I'm like, what do you mean different levels of happy? You're either happy or you're not. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. So
I just remember feeling very, like unsure, like not wanting to, like, what if they think that I'm like trying like to be autistic, or like what if I'm like am I leaning into it? Like all I could do is try to be honest, but what if it's like what if he doesn't understand me? What if I'm giving the wrong answers? Like
Mhm.
what are they expecting to hear from me? And I
Yeah.
also remember like some of the stuff, like especially for me, like the stuff asking the questions about friendship, I found very emotional and overwhelming. I think
Oh yeah.
the thing that I appreciated the most was at the end of the sessions, the doctor saying, if something comes up, like, and at the beginning of sessions as well, like anything that you thought about since we last spoke that maybe we should talk about now. Because I think it gives like the extra processing time, because it's a lot to ask an autistic person, like, all right, answer this question, this very
Mhm.
detailed emotional question about your life and like friends, or like, yeah, because like you don't even think about those things until and if I'm talking too much, I'm sorry. Please forgive me if I'm taking over the conversation. Just
No,
tell me.
you're fine.
You know, like they're asking you questions about relationships and friends, and you're like, light bulbs are going off, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, is that why? Like, it's been autism this whole time? Like, that's why? It's very overwhelming to like have to go through that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I always found too, I had a hard time answering the friendship questions because I found friendship very confusing.
Yeah, for me, like for
Because
me, it was
I
like,
had people that considered me their friend, but I didn't really feel connected to them at all.
mm-hmm. I
I
felt
mean,
like I always wondered why I could see that other people had close friendships in a way that I didn't have.
mhm. Yeah,
Oh
me
yeah.
too.
And it was very confusing to me. Like if I would be able to say like, I don't think like nobody's ever gonna have me be their maid of honor, you know, like I'd think about that, like girls would have these like experiences together, and I was like, I've had friends, and I still consider people from before my diagnosis that are friends, but like I wouldn't keep in contact with them unless we were like together in the same place or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this whole friendships is such
Mhm.
a compact topic because
It is.
it's to do with rules and you're expected to conform in a certain way to make friends. And especially with my own self, like in the past, people would expect me to be able to make friends and be social. And because I was so weird, I guess at school, would not want to make friends, I would keep myself to myself and not really socialise. When it did come to making a certain group of friends, them friends weren't my friends. I believed they were, and then they all either stabbed me in the back, or I found out they're only wanting me for either doing homework or things like that. And I'm like, I was so naive back then. I didn't know that they weren't real friends. I believed that the friends I did get were like, oh, they actually really liked me. But no, it wasn't the truth. It turns out they all had other agendas.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that,
I
Gemma.
always had a hard time being able to see those hidden agendas. I was very blind. And unfortunately, I had some really bad things happen to me because I was very naive about a lot of things. And I thought everybody liked me and everybody cared about me when they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of emotional trauma from things that were really horrible that I'm not going to discuss on here that happened to me in my childhood. They're very, very private. So please, forgive me for not elaborating. Just know it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to go through some of it. I mentally blocked out, and I had to bring it back to the forefront to help my marriage. And so I did some therapy for that. And that was some rough therapy, man. It was not fun. And so I just, and that's one of the things that he told me too. He's like, one, girls get missed because they mimic.
Oh yeah.
They're master mimickers, chameleons, they're master chameleons. He goes, two, they can't always judge character very well, and they miss a lot. And so bad things happen to females because of that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this makes so much sense, you know? And then of course, there comes the shame with the things that happen. And so you don't tell people because you think it's your fault. Well, it must have been something I did. Right. So yeah. So there was a question in the chat that said, since they've changed the definition of the DM, how many more people are being diagnosed now? I couldn't tell you that answer. I have no idea. I'm sure it's a lot more.
I think the definitions need to stop changing because they've gone from naming autism as before a mental impairment to now its own separate box, which I agree with, but they should have never have put autism in the mental box to begin with, because autism isn't a mental disorder, it's a neurological disorder. So for the DSM to register it as mental is completely inappropriate anyway.
We are at an hour and 20 minutes, you guys. I think I'm ready to give away this scarf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Dawn Aaron, Loving Hands Creations, made this scarf. Man, I wish I could ship this worldwide, you guys. I really do. I would love to ship. I don't know how. Just shipping is so dang expensive. Why does shipping have to be so expensive?
That'd probably be about $20 to ship worldwide.
Really, this?
Yeah.
How should I pack it?
You could do like I wouldn't do like the flat rate envelope because that'll be really expensive. But you could do like a bubble wrapper.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can do that.
20 or 25.
There's a question from Suzanne in the chat. She just said, can all three of us talk about the benefits of a adult diagnosis? She just asked.
For me, I'll tell you right now, it was healing for me because I finally figured out why I didn't know who I was, why I couldn't figure out who I was. And I was able to start figuring out, okay, what do I like? What do I not like? What am I comfortable? I started learning how to create boundaries and letting people know what my needs were and being okay with telling them what my needs were. And if they weren't happy with my needs and they didn't want to meet my needs, that it's okay to walk away and say, no, thank you, and choose to go do something else. So for me, it was a release. It was freeing. It was like, finally, my life finally makes sense. And I will tell you, I am very blessed that I have my father just passed away, but I had two very precious parents. As soon as I gave them the diagnosis, which mine was multiple diagnoses, it wasn't just autism, they were fully accepting. And my mom, you guys, my poor mother, she beat herself up for over a year and kept apologizing to me because I was always grounded. Like, she never understood why I couldn't keep my room clean. And I was always grounded because my room was messy.
It's so hard because, and Gemma even spoke to this, right, about like being hard on her mother. There's a lot of healing that the whole family has to go through.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not just, it's a whole family thing. And I think it does take time, but once there comes like a level of acceptance for everybody involved, I think it's super healing for the whole family.
It is. I don't know about you, Claire or Gemma, but with me, even up until, and I'm still struggling with it today, even though my parents were very loving, I mean, I had very loving parents, you guys, even though I was grounded all the time. I never felt connected to them. It was like they were in a box. Okay, this is a mom and this is my dad, and they're supposed to take care of me. Okay, and they're going to give me rules I have to follow. I never felt emotionally connected to them. And so thankfully, I finally started feeling some kind of connection to my dad before he passed away. And I'm very thankful for that. But I had to really work hard on it. And my connection with my mother, I'm still working on. And it's weird. Sometimes I can totally feel connected with her and have that child mother connection that you feel in your heart and in your brain. You know what I mean? And then other times I don't. It's like she's just this person. It's the weirdest thing. And it's so hard to articulate that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the communication
So,
deficit and feeling like I remember when I would have meltdowns at home and just screaming because all I wanted, like, why don't they understand what I'm trying to tell them? And just screaming over and over and over again and feeling like, why don't they understand they're not listening to me? And now understanding that that was never gonna, like, it was never gonna happen, you know? And hearkening back to what somebody was asking about, why is a diagnosis a good thing? Understanding that we're speaking a different language, essentially, and we're communicating differently with neurotypical people is so important. And that is why it allows us to be able to start having friends in a different way, relationships with our family in a different way, relationships with other people in our lives, our spouses, our loved ones in a very different way, because we can now understand that we're communicating differently and how to bridge the gap so that we can also feel that closeness that we haven't been able to feel with other people before. But just because we're autistic doesn't mean we don't want that.
right.
It's just a mystery.
Yes. And you know, I want to be able to connect, but sometimes it's like I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I can understand where Nisi's coming from, because, like I said to Nisi before the live, me and my mum have always had a really, really off, icy relationship. And me and my mum have always been not close. She's not the affectionate parent. She's been raised in the old era of, if you show any affection towards your kids, or as she was growing up as a child, her mum, God rest her soul, my nanny, who recently passed, was raised in the era of, if she showed any kind of affection, she was considered a weak or bad parent. So that was brought down to my mum and her brothers. And unfortunately, my mum is still in that ilk of, if she shows any kind of affection now, she's getting a little bit better with it, but she won't say things like love you, or put love from mum in cards or texts. Or, like, today I went to see my sister yesterday, and I said to her before I left, I was like, she was upset, she got a bit tearful. I was like, like, I tapped on the shoulder, I said, love you, mum, whatever. And she looked at me, this massive, cold look on her face. And I was like, why do you do that? What's your problem? Like, why are you so cold? And she said, it's not my fault. Don't blame me. And I was like, I wasn't blaming you, mum. I was asking a question. Like, just me even going like this to her, just to give her a bit of comfort, show that I cared. Like, she did not like it at all. And I'm like, to me, my brain goes, okay, Gemma, so to me, I was doing a good thing. I was trying to show compassion. I was trying to be sensitive to her being upset. But to me, it's like, I felt like I'd done wrong. I'd insulted her by trying to offer support. And she's like, well, yeah. You shouldn't be like that with me. And I'm like, to me, whereas I get my affection from my dad is completely opposite. He's very lovey-dovey, affectionate. Like, if I talk to him on the phone, or if he knows I do live streams with people here on YouTube, and he's always like, oh, well done, Gemma. I saw what you did, and I saw what you did. And he's always like praising me and support me. He knows that I talk to Claire a lot. He knows that I talk to a few other YouTubers, and he can't help but support me. But my mum, she couldn't care less at all. She's not bothered. Like,
and that's difficult because there's different, for autistic people, there's different social rules to each person. And that makes it really difficult for us to connect with people as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like just like a general example is like, not everybody wants a hug, right? So when you meet somebody, you're supposed to hug them to show them that right? But not everybody wants that. So it's like really hard for us when it's like the rules change with every single person, and how are you supposed to read that from somebody?
Right, exactly. Well, my mom was pretty affectionate for the most part, more verbal than anything. And my mom showed her love through food, which is why I'm fluffy. And so her thing was, she would get frustrated because she would be showing me affection, but I never showed her any back. I've always had a hard time showing affection. It's always something I've had to work. It's not that I don't want to, but it's like a foreign concept almost. Like,
well, you need to start prepping yourself for when we meet in person, DC. There's a hug summit. So just start mentally preparing.
So I've had to really work on that a lot, and I've gotten better. I have. In the 7 years, I've gotten better, but it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work, because I'm not a hugger because it overstimulates me, but I can receive a hug if I prepare myself for it, and I can give a hug if I prepare myself for it. But I got to process it first and prepare for it first, But in real life, you don't always get to do that. So, all right. Well, let's give this scarf away. I'm ready to give this scarf away. So let me pull up. I should have had this pulled up already, and I didn't. You guys, I am so sorry.
While you pulled it up, somebody in the chat had mentioned that one of their grandchildren maybe didn't know that they were autistic. Their parents kept it from them, and that is a tough topic. I just wanted to acknowledge that they wrote that, and I think they shared it with them when they were 10. That's a very tough topic.
Yeah.
I think most of us here would say, I think you should let your children know early, but I understand why. Paula said, stop saying sorry. I'll try. Force of habit when you're a undiagnosed autistic person and you spend your entire life apologizing. So
Yep. I say sorry a lot too. Oh, we lost Gemma. All right. Oh, great. Now I can't find my StreamYard giveaway tool. I thought I saved it to my favorites. Where'd it go? Oh no, where'd it go? All right, hang on. Where did it go? Okay, I think I found it. That was really weird.
Nisi, we've had about 60 people watching this whole time.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I'm hoping that our talk and our willingness to share our experience is helping somebody.
Yeah,
all right,
there's a million things to talk about though. So sorry if we're all over the place. Oh no, we might be all over the place. Not sorry, just part of things.
All right, I'm getting the word ready. Let's see, come over here. All right, I'm gonna put in the word, you guys.
Oh, you want to explain maybe if people haven't done this before?
So what's going to happen, you guys, and this can be worldwide. I got some wonderful donations in the chat, and I'm going to do the thank you. We're going to swing on the swing here in a minute. I think while you guys are putting in the word, we'll swing on the swing for all the wonderful memberships that was gifted. You guys that's amazing. So I'm going to put in the word. And I'm going to have my moderator put a break in the chat. So try to keep your side chat to a minimal right now. And then those who want to try to win this scarf, you're going to just type in the word as I have it, as I've typed it. And then StreamYard's going to pull a winner. And I will share my screen so you guys can see the giveaway tool, and we'll see who StreamYard picks. Okay?
Nisi, could you just real quick show the scarf up a little bit like this so we can see the whole
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start from the bottom.
I feel like there's so many details.
There's a lot of details. Here, you want me to make me big? Here, I'll make myself big. All right. Let me hide this current comment too as well so you guys can see. Okay, so this is the bottom.
Look at the color work on that.
And can you see that this is lattice work right here? So that's lattice work. And then you've got the heart. And then you've got two people holding hands because that's what acceptance is about. Then you have another heart. Then you have a puzzle piece.
I think it looks like two people.
It does kind of. It does kind of actually, yeah. And then it goes into, let me turn it. I can't handle things being upside down. Another heart. And then two more people holding hands, and then a heart, and then more lattice work.
That's so much work. Thank you so much to the person who
Yes.
made that. That's
So that
much
is
work.
made by Dawn Aaron, Loving Hands Creations. She has a YouTube channel, and if one of my moderators will put Dawn's link to her channel in the chat, that would be wonderful. All right. So this is open to everyone as long as you can receive mail from the United States, as long as you can afford to pay the duty and or any taxes that go along with it, then you can enter. But if not, please do not enter. Please know that once I ship this, I have no control of whether you get it or not. Okay, it's totally at risk. Just FYI, this is not affiliated with YouTube at all. Okay, you must be 18 years old or older to enter. And this was 100% a donation gift. Okay.
Void where prohibited.
Void where prohibited. Absolutely. Hello, Justin. All right, so we're going to have a break in the chat. She did work very hard on it. Yes, she did. And I am going to put in the word. Let me make sure I spelt it right. You guys, I'm the worst speller in the world.
That's my favorite when you give a word and it's spelled wrong, you see.
I do. I spell words wrong all the time. I do.
It is a simple word.
I'm the
My
same
husband
way.
said make it a simpler word. All right, so the word you're going to type. Thank you, Tank, for the break in the chat. And I love that you used the beanie and the gnome. All right, there is the word, you guys. The word is acceptance. And I am going to pull up my screen so you guys can see the giveaway tool. Share. And let's see. They've changed things around a little bit. We're going to make us smaller. There we go.
Nisha's
So
going to teach me how to do this for when I do my hat giveaways.
I'm going to make us disappear for a second. There we go. So all you see is the giveaway tool. And then after this, we got to give those somebodies away that Miss C donated. And Miss C, I'm not quite sure how you want to do this because I don't know if we have who we have in here, but I'll do my best. I don't even know if Miss C is still in here or not because I know there's a lot of lives going on tonight. So I know she was in here earlier. Where's my list? I wrote it down.
Nisi, I'm going to grab a water. I'll be right back.
Okay. So S-PIT, the word is acceptance. It's A-C-C-E, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, A, N as in Nancy, E. Only once. Yes, Justin. Please type it only once. And then my moderator will tell me when it's okay, when she thinks it's good to go to pull the winner. Last call, says Tank. That's I love to crochet. Okay, Mimi, it's A C C E, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, A N as in Nancy, C E. Yep, you got it, Mimi Loves Crochet. That's correct.
That's a tough one for me too.
Yeah, I had to think about it before I spelled it. It does look really weird, S-Pit, because it's got the duplicate letters in there. Okay, roll it. All right, here we go. Let's see who won.
Good luck,
Who's gonna win.
everybody. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. All right, so we got 25 entries. Does that look right, Tank? Do we really only have 25 entries? So 1, 2, hang on. Darn it. I'm counting really quick and then check. Can everyone stop chatting for just a second, please? So I can count, because 25 just seems like not enough. 1,
I think I counted 26, maybe
2,
27.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm showing like 28.
I Live Crochet says it's correct in a few duplicates, so we're probably okay.
Oh, so we have some duplicates in there. All right, so I'm going to draw.
Here we go.
Tank won! Congratulations, Tank! How exciting is that? I think I have your address, but just in case, send it to me again, Tank. Congratulations, sweetheart. Oh, you won!
Yay!
How exciting. Okay, let's show these wonderful zebras that Miss C donated. Is Miss C still in the chat, or has she left, you guys? Does anybody know?
I think I might enter for a zebra.
Yeah, oh, they're cute. Wait till you see them. It will honor your grandson, Tank. Absolutely. I'm over the moon excited that you won.
That's
I'd be
awesome.
excited whoever
Congratulations.
won, but okay, so let me show you. I'm going to unshare this screen for just a second, but I am going to keep it up. Let me go back to the home page. All right, let me pull up. I'm going to shut down my email, save on some bandwidth here. All right, I'm going to pull up my file. I'm going to pull up the first zebra picture.
I hope Gem's okay.
I did tell her that if she started feeling overwhelmed or really super tired, if she needed to just drop down, that not to worry, she could just drop down.
That's completely fair. Absolutely.
Yes. That she didn't have to tell us that she was dropping down, just to drop. So, yeah, because she's had a very challenging week. So, all right. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the first zebra. It's just so exciting, you guys. Miss C wants to come up. Okay. All right, Miss C, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put in the link for you, Miss C. Yay, I'm glad she's still here because I really wanted her to be the one to do this. All right, Miss C, this link is for you, sweetheart. All right, there you go, Miss C. And we'll oh, I'm so sorry, Mimi. I'm so sorry, sweetheart, that you lost your niece. Deepest condolences. That's hard. That's really rough. So we're just waiting for Miss C. But I'm going to share my screen so I can show you the zebra because it's so cool. It's just so nice. All right, share screen. Here it is. Share. So there is the zebra, you guys. Look how cute that is.
Oh, that's so. Look at his little belly.
Isn't it cute?
I
It's
love a little belly.
adorable. It's absolutely adorable. Now, I know Miss C had, I had 4 written down. Oh, I think that's her. Where's she at? Come on, there she is. I had 4 written down. Oh, I think that's her. Hi, Miss C. All right, I'm going to make you big for a second so everyone can. This is Miss C, you guys. All right, I'm going to make you big for a second.
It's her.
There she is. Okay. This is the wonderful, talented Miss C who made these buddies.
They're so
Okay.
cute.
So
Thank
now you can put a face with the name and with the somebody that she made. So let's see. This is the first one that you sent me, Miss C, in the email.
I want to go hang out with Miss C and her wall of yarn. Look, I've got
I
one
do
too.
Yep. My yarn is hiding in cupboards, so you guys can't see them.
I have yarn tucked everywhere. It's tucked everywhere.
All right. So Miss C, how did you want to do this? I know you had, let's see. I wrote it down. You had one to go to Australia, one to go to Europe, one to go to Canada, and one to go to US. Do I have that written down right? I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. I can't hear you. We heard her a second ago, and now her volume is.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Better?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I actually have more than 4.
Okay,
Can you take that picture down?
I can. Yeah, hang on one second. Let me
Okay.
see. Stop screen. There we go.
I don't want to run your show, but I have some rules.
Okay,
I
go
want
ahead.
to be sure that these autism awareness zebras go to people who are autistic, have an autistic spouse, have an autistic relative. I want them to know that they are loved, that somebody loves them. So, no, don't even start that. That's my rule, and a lot of people are not able to ship worldwide, but I have been so blessed in my life I can do that. And so what I want to do is to make sure that people worldwide, autistic people or intimately associated with someone with autism, has an opportunity to win one of these, so that they will beyond the shadow of a doubt know that somebody loves them. And here's what I want to do. I want to show all 6 of them. And then I want people from one country to put in their name, and whoever wins from that country gets to choose one of those. Well, Juan says 6, one of those 6. We'll put up another country. Those people can enter. From the 5 remaining, they can choose. And I've made extras so that the last person from the last country doesn't feel like they had to have the only left one, the leftover one. They still will have a choice. Does that work for you guys?
That works for me.
Claire?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, good. I love you. I love you, Claire.
I love you.
Okay, here's the first one.
Can I make you big, Miss C, so they can get a
Sure,
really
sure
good
you
look at
can.
it? Okay.
Yeah, as long as you realize I
And then I'm
wasn't.
gonna go grab me a tissue while you do that.
All right. This is the first one. And none of these are wool. They're all acrylic.
Oh my goodness.
This is number 1. Because autism is, the colors for autism are all over the place. This is number 2.
So cute.
Zebra number 2. Okay. Zebras are supposed to be black and white. So this is zebra number 3, and he has a mohawk.
Love it. Love it.
This is zebra number 4, because some zebras are not black and white. Some zebras are outside of the norm. They're brown. Zebra number 5. This is made with Mexicana, and the only black on him are his feet and his arms and his ears.
So cool.
And
That's my favorite.
and then the last one, I kind of played around on my YouTube channel, Missy's Cottage, on Sunday, and I said, I asked the question, what's black and white and red all over it? I got newspaper, newspaper, newspaper. And then somebody said the Bible, which is also true. It's black and white and it's red all over. But actually, black and white and red all over is an embarrassed zebra.
Oh,
Oh, he's
I
so
made
cute.
an embarrassed zebra, and that is zebra number 6. So if
Oh,
you
he's just
win,
so cute.
you just give me the numbers and we'll make it happen, okay?
I have lost
Okay.
my mind.
Okay. You can take me down now.
All right. Now, how do we know where everyone is from in the chat? I don't know.
We just
Okay.
have to trust people. I think all of even autistic people are honest. They just
Okay.
say
So, what country
say
do you
right
want to do
out.
first? What country do you want to do first?
Well, let's start with the farthest away one. Let's start with Australia. Is there anyone here tonight from Australia? New Zealand.
Ooh, that's pretty far.
Australia's pretty close to New Zealand.
Sunita, she's actually doing 5.
I will do as many as there are countries that
Okay.
submit a name. And if we've got 7 countries, I'll make another one. God is good. I cannot outgive God. Okay, I was gifted yarn. Someone needed it. I contacted that person and says, I have it. And they said, okay, I'll exchange. And I said, no, I don't want anything.
All right.
I don't
So
I don't need. And wouldn't you know, when they did a winner on their channel, I won. So you cannot outgive God. You cannot. So
Miss
I
C,
am
can I come
blessed.
over and we could do some crochet together?
we have one person from Australia here.
Okay. All right. Pardelote. Pardelote, if you will Gmail me your address at missyscottage@gmail.com, I
So
will send you
Missy MSCS.
mscscottage@gmail.com.
Oh, so cute.
Okay, there you go. There's the email address. Okay. So
Okay.
email Missy and give her your address.
Tell me first, what one do you want? Number 1,
You're a winner. You lucky duck.
number 2,
My heart, Nisi.
number 3. Whoops. The brown one is number 4. The Mexican Red Heart Super Saver is number 5. Or the one heard round the world. Yeah, Sherry, you would like to be from Australia. You have a sun bunny. I know you, Sherry Knowles.
So
Number
which one
6.
would you like, Paris?
So tell me.
Number
which-
2.
Number
Number
2.
2. Congratulations.
Wow, that is
Oh,
so cool.
yeah. I
Is the Red
love
Heart
it.
Super Saver neon stripes. So I am going to write that down in my book.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Don says, I'm from all over. Does that work? Don Aaron. Girl, you're so funny.
Goes to P.
I'm from Woodshed Topia. Anybody else here from
Okay,
Woodshed?
you have to tell me your name again so I recognize it when it comes through.
It's PARDOLOTE. So when you email Missy, make sure you put your channel name in the subject line so she'll recognize that it's you, okay?
When it comes through on Gmail, yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me that you won number 2. Now I have you written right here. Okay. Okay. You may be autistic, but not transnational. Trinational is not a loophole. Where you have to go from where you're residing. Mongrel. That's what I am. All right. Let's say. Let's just go to the UK. Is there anyone in the UK that is here?
Gemma, you better be in the chat, girl. You know you want one of these.
Oh, I hope she is, Gemma.
I
It's
If
okay.
hope
you are
she
in
is
the
too.
I've seen a few people. I've seen a few people from the UK here.
Okay, put in your country that you live.
So if you're
Helen.
so
Tell me what country.
Helen's UK.
What country in the UK, Helen? Are you from
I think she's
England?
She's England.
Mary King, I know
Pauline?
you too. You have to wait. Okay, Pauline's from England.
I think
No,
Helen's
just
England
people
too.
that are in the UK. I just
So-
want to know.
Yeah, England. Helen is England. Pauline is England.
Anybody from Ireland or Scotland here tonight?
Too bad Mike left. He's from the Isle of Man.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Isle of
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
You know what? He sent me, Missy. He sent me special wool from sheep from the Vikings that only live on the Isle of Man.
Okay, Jennifer.
I don't know where the Isle of Man is.
It's near the UK. It's near the UK.
Okay. Okay, so we have 2 people.
It looks like it. I don't see Gemma in the chat because I know she's from England too, but I don't see her in the chat. So
we have Helen.
we have Helen and Pauline.
Pauline.
Mm-hmm. Pauline,
Okay,
Richie,
Helen.
and Helen.
Helen, which one would you like? Number 2 is gone. You have your choice of number 1, number 3.
That was number 2. I thought number 2 was the one you just showed.
No, this is Neon Stripes. Whoops. Neon Stripes is gone. Sorry.
Yep. It's okay.
Number 2 No, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Boy.
You're doing great.
You don't know how much I've learned tonight from you girls. I'm blown away by what I have learned
Oh,
and what I've learned about
I'm
myself
so
tonight.
grateful. I'm so grateful.
Me too. That was our goal, was to help educate, help enlighten, and help support and advocate.
All right, Helen is choosing number 1. Is this the correct one? Helen gets number 1.
All right. So you need Helen. So make sure you email Miss C's Cottage and let her know that you're the winner and that you chose the number 1 zebra, and give her your full address.
And Pauline, which one would you like?
Come on down, Pauline.
Come on down, Pauline. Come get your zebra.
You've been selected as the winner on Mrs. C's Zebra is Right.
Oh, I hope Pauline didn't give up.
She should be in the chat.
Pauline, Ricky,
She's
get
here.
your zebra.
Come on,
Yeah,
Pauline.
I'm pretty sure she's still in the chat.
Oh yeah, Pauline wants the embarrassed zebra. Good choice.
All right, you get
Good
number 6.
choice.
I love that one.
I love this one too. I think, well, I don't know. They're all my favorites because I made them.
I get it.
Okay, she gets number 6.
All right, I'm going to post the email in the chat again. So this is where you can email your info.
Pauline. Okay, we have 3 left. Let's go to anybody from Africa.
I want to say, isn't Jennifer Dinky Crafts from
Europe?
Oh, she's Europe.
She's from
Okay.
England. Yeah, she's
I
England.
get her confused with what is her name? She's in Africa, and it's not Ursula. It's the other one that I get her confused with all the time.
Ursula is in Africa.
Bison, there's Ursula and there's one other that's in Africa that I always get Jennifer confused with, and I don't know why. But I can't think of her name right now.
I used Red Heart Super Saver Soft for the red, and I used I love this yarn Smoky Water for the zebra. Okay, and then I just put black. It's got black feet up to row 8.
Spoken
Night,
like
Cindy
a true
Lou.
crocheter. Up to row 8. That makes sense to everybody.
Well, it will make sense to those people who've been watching my Somebody Sundays because we've been making them.
I'm just teasing because I speak crochet, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, we don't have any Africans here tonight. Let's go right to Canada.
All right, I know we've got some Canadas in here.
Faith Louise, there are a number of companies that put out black and white yarn. Premier Basic has a black and white marled one.
Catherine is in Canada. If you're in Canada, just type the word Canada, and then because I know we have more than 2.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, if you're in Canada, put Canada in your chat, and nobody else. But you have to be, well, I guess if you're here tonight, you've got some autism connection. So
make sure you have an autism connection in order to win one of these zebras. That's very important. So if you have an autism connection, and you're in Canada, just type the word Canada.
Can you do it, Nisi, from there on your wheel?
I sure can. I'm fixing to put
Okay.
in the word right now.
No, I didn't know what they had to do. Does she have to mark it? And I don't do that, so I'm not
No,
aware
that's
of how.
okay. No, she doesn't
Okay.
have to mark it.
Okay.
She'll let me know when to roll it.
Okay.
Canada only, and you have to have an autism connection. Whether you know someone in your family that's autistic, someone that you're very close with in your family, like niece, nephew, son, daughter, wife, husband, brother,
Grandchild.
sister, grandchild, that kind of connection. If you have that kind of connection and you're in Canada, type Canada in the chat.
Hello, Catherine. And Sharon. That's right. You are in Canada.
Yep, and she has, I'm trying to remember, she has a connection in her family, I believe. We had more than 2 earlier. Where did everybody go? We still have 46 people in the chat.
Mary King, do you have an autistic, what did you call it? Not an attachment. What did you call it? A connection. Do you have an autistic connection?
Tank says she sees 4 people.
Okay, roll it.
All right, so we're going to roll it.
Okay, Mary, thank you for your
I'm going to share my screen real quick so everyone can see, because it's always fun to see.
It is. I like watching the names go by.
It's fun, isn't it? It's so much fun. Oh, hang on. I didn't choose it. There we go. All right, here we go. So we're going to select collecting comments. Oh, we have 5. Oh, no, because I don't count. I put the word Canada. I don't count. So there's only 4. There's truly only 4. All
Okay.
right, draw. And it's Catherine. Congratulations, Catherine.
Well,
Congratulations, sweetie.
Catherine.
You are the winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
Zebra dinner.
Oh,
Yes,
don't. All right. Catherine, my love, which one would you like? Would you like number 3? No, number 2, number 3, I don't know what numbers they are. Just tell me which one you want.
Brown, black, or rainbow?
You have your choice, my dear. I love the Mexicana one. All right, you got the Mexicana.
I love that one.
Congratulations.
You know, this one was more difficult to crochet because it doesn't have black in it. Where the neon stripes, it comes with a section of the yarn with the black stripe already in it. So I didn't put any black stripes in him. I just did his legs and his feet and his leg black. So, Catherine, you have won the Mexicana zebra. Jose. Okay, last but not least, if you are from the good old US of A, you're next.
Yeah,
If you're from the USA and you have an autism connection in your family.
What do we put? USA?
Yes, type USA in the chat.
It's my time. It's my time.
It's your time, Claire. Oops.
Well, there's more than 4.
Oh, there's definitely more than 4.
Well, that's the most we've had so far.
Hey, Scott from Rambling with the Brahms. How are you?
Lila, you probably need to put it again.
Yeah, just put it again just in case. I don't think it does duplicate, so just do it again just in case.
Oof doesn't count, S-Pit. You can put USA, but oof doesn't count.
Oh, no, Scott, you should have been here when we were doing the one for Canada. We already did Canada, my friend.
There's Nancy Mac. Hello, Mac.
Yeah, we got quite a few USAers in here.
Yeah.
Last call. Tink says, roll it.
Roll
Okay.
it. Roll it to my name.
Okay, here we go. We've got 24 entries. Wow.
All right.
Let's see who's going to be the winner. Dawn Aaron, and she says she never wins anything. Dawn, you
Aaron,
can't-
see?
Yeah,
All
Dawn
right.
Aaron, the one that made the scarf one. Congratulations,
Yes.
Dawn.
Receive. Give him receive.
Congratulations, Dawn.
See, I'm telling you, you just can't outgive God. When you give from your heart, He gives it right back.
Yep, he does.
Amen to that.
Congratulations, my friend.
All right, Dawn, you need to tell me which one you want, the black and white one or the brown zebra.
You want the black and white one's the one with the mohawk, right?
No, Sherry, she did not say mine, 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 and that's probably why she won.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, congrats.
Which one do you want, Dawn? Which one do you want, sweetheart? You
The
want the
brown
black
one.
the brown one. Congratulations, my friend. Is Bridget still in the chat? I hope Bridget's still in the chat because I don't have her email or anything.
Bridget,
Queen's Crochet, Queen's. Oh my gosh, why can't we say?
okay, yeah. Queen's Craft Crochet, or
Thank
yes, I
you.
know who you mean.
Queen's Craft Crochet by Bridget. Bridget, are you in the chat still? Because she came in and she's like, I see you guys are still here. I don't have her email or anything. She is going, I'm going to go grab the bag, you guys. Give me 1 second. She wants to give away.
We didn't miss any random countries, did we?
That's what I was just going to say. I have one left. Is there another country that we didn't? Mexico came to mind because of the Mexican yarn. Is there another country that we did not mention that there is someone here from?
Spain? Anybody? Anybody out there?
Brown and white zebras actually do exist. How interesting that is.
Of course they do.
That's really cool.
Do you think I would do a zebra that wasn't a real color?
Yeah.
But yes, I did know about brown zebras, which is why I made him.
Nancy Land. Nancy says she lives in Nancy Land. I live in a woodshed. So
I literally have a woodshed.
Texas
Asia,
is,
South America, Mexico, anybody live in? No, Texas is not a different country, Shirley.
Some people say
They
do.
think they are.
Did you hear Mr. Handsome, Missy?
No,
He
I
said
didn't.
some people think it is.
This is true.
My husband's chiming in.
Layla says California is like a country too. I agree.
Oh my
I'm in
gosh, you guys are so funny.
I think he has one, my dear love. Doesn't little man have a striped zebra? A zebra?
Who, my little man?
Yes, ma'am.
He has your you made him a sun bunny, a blue one, his favorite color. He sleeps with
Okay.
it a lot.
Okay.
Yes, he has one.
Okay.
He has one made by Miss C to cuddle with, and he cuddles with it.
Does he?
Yes.
Layla's really pushing for California.
He really is.
California is a different country, and personally, this is really ugly. But I'm waiting. I'm
Miss
waiting
C,
for.
did you see that?
Yeah,
He
I
says,
did.
Miss C, I would like to adopt him and gift it to Claire. Oh, that's so
Oh,
sweet.
you don't have to do that, Mima. That's so sweet. You don't have to do that. I want to make
Mima.
sure that I want to make sure that we aren't missing anyone.
Dawn P. She gets one anyway.
So is there anyone from another country in here right now that we did not cover? That is the big question.
You guys
We want to
are
make sure we didn't leave anybody out. Man, it's too bad Mike's not in here. He went to bed though.
I'm
Oh, they're
surprised,
called blonde zebras. Hi, Stephanie.
I'm
That's
surprised that
interesting.
Mike doesn't have a zebra because he has many, like almost 20 animals they take care of.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's when he sent me my gift, he sent me a picture of all of them.
Oh, how neat. Oh, that's what that was that you were showing.
He's got peacocks and chickens and geese and cats and dogs and
Samantha, you know how to make one. We're making one right now.
I will be making one for the charity collaboration that we're doing with Dana Wonders Less Crochet.
Oh, for the Mountain States Children's Home.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll be making one of your.
Much, Nisi.
I'll be
Thank
making
you.
one of your bunnies to go along with the blanket.
Thank you.
this is what
give
I'm
them the
making right
appreciate
now.
that.
Yeah, and they'll be given to the children's home.
That shawl is so beautiful.
Isn't that
I love
pretty?
the dragonflies better than the butterflies. I do like the dragonflies best.
It's
Yeah,
so pretty.
it's a bag a day pattern. I've never done the dragonflies before.
It's beautiful.
And I found this beautiful Shepstee's Whirl cake that's like $30 at the thrift store for $3.
You're kidding.
She
Wow.
always finds the best finds, man. I'm telling you, she's like got a
Yeah,
gift for these thrift
You just have
stores
to go every
and
day.
savers.
Yes, Dawn. Yes, Dawn A, and yes, Dawn P. And I'll make 5 more if you guys want them. I don't know. It's just I sat down the time I talked to Nisi, and tonight I just finished up the red one, putting it together tonight. I can't stop making zebras. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to hit myself in the head and
You've got
start
zebra
over.
fever,
I must.
Zebra fever.
mad zebra disease or something.
Okay, so
Thanks,
nobody
sis.
from Mexico, nobody from the Philippines, nobody from
Thanks,
Guam, nobody from Haiti, nobody from the Bahamas, nobody. Okay. Wow.
All right.
We
This little
tried.
guy in his mohawk, you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Is that yellow bird on Snoopy.
Oh, Woodstock.
Woodstock. Yeah, with
Yeah.
this little
Love it.
mohawk.
Yeah, a lot of people want to adopt one from you. So email her if you're interested.
If you want to adopt a zebra, thank you, Susan. Email misscottage@gmail.com. You can PayPal it. There's a $20 adoption fee. They only go to good houses. I'm not going to have my bunnies or buddies abused. So you have to promise that you will be a good caretaker. And I will tell you this. I crochet the amigurumi, but God puts the love inside and God writes the stories. So I'm not responsible for the stories, but God knows what needs to be in them. And a lot of times I just say, are you sure you want me to put that in there? And when it gets to the person and she says, oh my gosh, put your helmet on and get on your Harley and ride off. She said, that's me. And I'm like, are you sure? But he
Miss
doesn't.
C, so Don P says, Miss C, please know that the 3 I gifted to my neighbor's kids that are all on the spectrum carry them with them everywhere. That is so sweet. Makes your heart just melt.
I don't even know where my heart is anymore. I fell out 30 minutes ago.
Mine is really warm now.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So you guys, last item. I've been on here 2 hours. You guys know I don't usually do lives this long, right? Nisi's about ready to perish away. I'm about ready to fall out.
For allowing me to come up. Thank you for allowing me to come up and do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for loving on our autism community.
It was so nice to meet you. I just think you're the best.
Thank you, Claire. My sister has an autistic granddaughter, so I am somewhat familiar. But after listening to you 3 talk tonight, and I think I have to do some more research.
Well, let us know if you need any resources to read, because there's a lot of resources that are really helpful for adults to get an idea.
I'm 77, Claire.
Many people in our comments, I hear all the time about people in their 70s who are just discovering.
Yeah, that's true.
When I was little, they didn't have it, you know.
I understand they didn't start formally diagnosing girls until like 2012. So even when I was little, they were like, I don't know, something's up, but she seems okay. She caught up. So,
but as a teacher, I taught at the primary level, 3-year-olds, and I am not a physician. I cannot diagnose, but God tells us we shouldn't judge others lest we be judged, but he also says that we should look for the fruits of the Spirit. So you can be a fruit inspector, and as a teacher, you see a whole plethora of children come in your room, and you know right away which ones are different than the other children. And a lot of times I've suggested to parents, you know, this is what's going on. You might want to talk to your doctor about what's going on. And, you know, I have no control over it, but your package has gone out and here's another coming your way next week. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, see, you can't outgive God. You give away 6 zebras and you got more stuff coming in the mail. God is so good to me. He's so good to me. I'm so very, very blessed, which is why I can mail worldwide. So thank you again, Nisi, for letting me come up. I'm going to get out of here because I need to go get a tissue. And just please make sure everybody, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've missed somebody.
No, because there was 6 and then 5 were claimed, I think, right?
3, 4. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Claire.
I got you, girl.
Okay. All right. I'm out of here.
Love you, Missy. Bye.
I love you too. I love both of you so much. So much.
Gosh, we're feeling it.
To the moon and back.
You don't even know.
I love that lady.
Wow.
Oh, I know. I know. I had to get tissue.
An angel on earth.
Absolutely.
I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. She's an angel.
She really is. She absolutely is. All right. I have one more thing, you guys, and then I love y'all, but I gotta get off of here.
I know. I'm sorry. We all
Almost
just couldn't stop
all my spoons are gone, Claire.
Just grab a pack of plastic ones. You know, the ones you keep from the
As
takeout.
Faith would say, is Faith still in the chat? Faith, hand me one of your spoons, girl. Okay. So this is the bag.
Oh, it's big.
It is big. I don't know what size she was giving though, you guys. I'm not. This is the big blanket size. And I don't think Bridget's in the chat anymore, but she says she was going to give a bag with this material, which is the autism awareness puzzle material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a word in the chat, and I believe it's USA only, you guys. So thank you, Faith, for the spoon, girl. Thank you. I'll give it back once I wash it in the dishwasher.
Give this girl a spoon.
So I'm going to put in the chat a word. You have to be in the USA because Bridget's not here to tell me any more specifics than that. And I don't know what size bag it is, you guys, but what we're going to do is if you want to win a bag from Bridget with the puzzle piece, then you can enter as long as you're in the USA. You're going to email me, and then I will figure out what her email address is, and I'll forward your information on to her. Okay.
Tank says medium bag.
Is she in the chat? Or does somebody remember?
I love to crochet.
Tank. Okay, so Tank said she said the medium. Okay, so that one's the large, so it's not that one, but it's that same material. Okay, guys. So it's for a medium autism bag. And I got my word in. All right, I'm gonna type in. All right, so if you're in the USA, Pauline says she can hand me a fork. I love you, Pauline.
I got a few knives. I don't know.
If you want to win the medium autism bag, type in the word puzzle, Puzzle. USA only. And then once we get done drawing, I'll put my email in the chat. You guys need to email, the winner needs to email me their full information, address, their address, and then I'll forward it over to hey, there's Jamie. I'll forward it over to Bridget, and then she can get it to you. I believe she's at the hospital visiting Miss the King right now, so that is why she is not in the chat right at this moment. Man, I really wish Gemma was still in the chat. She could have won a zebra. All right. And then Tank, let me know when to roll it, girl.
I don't blame her. It's late in the UK.
It is very late. It's like 1 a.m. or something like that. Something crazy like that over there. And she had a very emotional day. And well, she's had an emotional 3 weeks. So she's, she's tired.
I'm just glad that she was able to come on and share with us.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't sure she was going to make it. And I was, and I've been worried. So
I'm just so glad for all the people who came over from Mike's live stream. You guys didn't think you were getting zebras, did you? Well, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that was wonderful. That was so cool. That was really neat. I saw the raid coming in. I'm like, who cat raid? Who is this? Who is it?
He was like, I'll send them to your live. I'm like, it's not mine, but here.
That was really neat. So I need to
great to have you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a little short or something to thank him for doing that.
Yeah, he's been on my
all right, so
my podcast too.
All right, so start collecting comments. We have a total of 16 entries, and we're going to draw it. Who's gonna be the lucky winner? Who's it gonna be?
You're winning.
Jamie Marie, yay, girl!
Yay,
all right,
Jamie.
So Jamie, I'm gonna put my email in the chat for you.
You
Oops.
are a winner.
Come on. There he goes. All right, there's my email address, Jamie. Email me your full mailing information, and I will forward it over to Bridget. Well, that was a super long live, you guys.
I
What
want
were
to
you gonna
thank
ask?
Niecy. Well, how do you say your channel name at the end?
It's just AU. Free Handly Made AU. That's it.
That's what I usually say, but I'm
Yep.
not. Maybe I'm like saying it like "ow."
A lot of people do that, and it's
Well, I
fine.
want to thank you for putting this together and giving us a platform, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you for joining me. I was a little
Duh.
worried I was going to be up here by myself. But yeah, you two are one of my two favorite advocates. I'm just now getting to know Mom on the Spectrum thanks to you. She's got a great channel too.
Taylor.
And so it's always nice to meet other females on the spectrum, especially ones that I can kind of relate to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully our stories helped somebody in the chat and maybe helped you, those of you that might be watching the replay, or those of you that were listening in the background. That's what we're here for. That's the goal. So thank you guys so much again. For all of you guys coming up and showing up for us and giving us an ear to talk to. I will see you guys for porch chat, man. I'm gonna go rest my voice now. I think I'm losing my voice.
Oh my gosh, yeah, go take a very long nap.
Yes, it's time for me to actually, it's almost bedtime for me. I got to work in the morning. All right.
Everybody.
Bye, Claire. And bye, everyone. Love you guys. Always remember, dare to be you, dare to be different. Love you guys. Bye.